Okay, thank you very much for your answers, and I can see that you are very clever and you can think of a lot of possibility in collaborating with community partners. Although you have many interesting answers, I would still like to know more, learn more from our speakers today. I hope that they can give you more insights on the questions. May I now invite Professor Chiu the Director of General Education, who is the facilitator today, to say a few words and introduce the speakers for us. Professor Chiu, please.
Thank you, Alice. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome. Perhaps you will agree with me that collaborations between community partners and course instructors will provide students with valuable service opportunities to learn, to serve, and to create social impacts. However, it's never easy to identify and always difficult to build connections with suitable community partners with insights, experience, and creativity to help students deliver meaningful community projects. The GE office is the central unit for GE courses, and so we have the luck to listen to and learn from many successful stories of our GE instructors. And today, our two speakers, Ms. Bonnie Chiu and Mr. Martin Lam, are going to share with us how they sustain their partnership and foster inclusivity among students. Bonnie is Associate Professor of Practice in the Department of Journalism. Using her rich work experience and connections, she developed and is still teaching 2 GE courses. Her outstanding teaching performance has been recognized by the GE Teaching Award this year. One of her GE capstone courses is about sports and disability in the Hong Kong Chinese media. This course features the implementation of awareness raising community projects with the Hong Kong Paralympic Committee and Sports Association for the Physically Disabled. These projects about the promotion of social inclusivity receive full support from Martin, the General Secretary of the Hong Kong Sports Association for the Physically Disabled. He has decades of hands-on experience in handling issues related to the professional advancement and welfare of para-athletes. They will share with us their story of partnership for creating positive impacts on the community while generating good service learning opportunities for students. So let's welcome our speakers. And Bonnie and Martin, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Professor Chiu. Good afternoon, everyone, I should say. And hi, Martin.
Hi.
Martin, thank
Hi,
you.
Bonnie.
Yeah, I'm very happy to share this session with you together. And Alice, please help me to share the PPT, because it seems that from your side will be better, especially for the audio. I'm very honored today to have this opportunity. And Martin and I have been working together for 3 years because of this sports and disability in the Hong Kong Chinese media. So this is our today's topic. I want to share with colleagues and members of the public or students that how we started this course. Without Martin's and his team's help, and also without GE office help, I can never do it. And next slide, please, Alice. And our flow will be divided into 4 parts. Firstly, I will introduce the course that I co-designed with another teacher, because this is a co-taught course. And then the second part, the search for a community partner, basically is from Martin, the partner's perspective. Because as a teacher, we always think that we want an NGO, we want someone to collaborate with us because it's education, very meaningful. But how a community partner thinks about collaborating with a university course or a teacher, that's very important. Martin will give us some do's and don'ts and tips, because so many potential teachers or other organizations want to work with them. And thirdly, is after having the consensus to work together, how the course was conducted. And finally, I want to show some of the students' work and also the feedback of our course. Okay, so firstly, the next slide will be showing you the video. Please play the video. Is the audio okay? This video is the work of GE office helping me. Okay.
The GE Capstone course I've been teaching is called GCAP 3135, Sports and Disability in the Hong Kong Chinese Media. There is an underrepresentation of the para-athletes and disabled sports in the mainstream media. I think after taking this course, students can provide innovative solutions to improve the situation. At the same time, they may be nurtured to become future leaders who are familiar with the concepts of inclusivity and diversity. We give lectures, invite guests, including para-athletes, sports journalists, and our community partner, Hong Kong Paralympic Committee and Sports Association for the Physically Disabled, to give lecture to students where they learn most of the theories and history of disabled sports in Hong Kong. We also organize some activities-based learning for them. Students participate in a wheelchair basketball match with Hong Kong wheelchair basketball players. During the match, students learn how to play and operate the wheelchair, the rules and the challenges of the game. After that, a heart-to-heart sharing session with those para-athletes was also organized. With the support of the General Education Office, Tin Ka-ping Foundation, the School of Communication and the Department of Journalism of Hong Kong Baptist University, we jointly organized a private movie preview show, Zero to Hero. The event also aimed at arousing public awareness and calling for public support through the inspirational theme of the struggle of the Paralympic athletes. We finally published students' interviews of para-athletes in a booklet and distribute about 500 hard copies to the community. I'm very confident to say that all the teaching and learning objectives of this GE course have been fully achieved. I'm sure they will become very good leaders in the future who care about the disabled community.
Thank you. As also shown in our next slide, you can see the video also give you an idea what the course GCAP 3135 Sports and Disability in Hong Kong Chinese Media is about. It's under the category of service leadership of GCAP and co-taught with another teacher who is a part-time teacher, and he is a very experienced sports journalist. So my part is basically all the logistic assignments, teaching, except his sharing regarding his reporting of like Olympics or Paralympics like that. So we work together, and he gives a lot of ideas about more recent examples of covering disabled sports, for example. So next slide. And the course is interdisciplinary in nature, and we talk about sports, journalism, disability, the concepts of service leadership, service learning, the history and theories of disabled sports, journalism basic theory, basic reporting skills like how to write a personal profile, how to film, basic picture skills like that, and picture taking skills. And the community partner, at the very beginning, we cooperate with Hong Kong Paralympic Committee and Sports Association for the Physically Disabled. And after our first year of cooperation, recently, the whole organization split into 2 organizations. And the course itself, we aimed at not just teaching them the course, but want to give them some transferable skills, like the understanding of the concept of diversity, inclusivity, equal opportunities. With the relevant law, we talk about the ethics of, for example, covering or interviewing para-athletes or disabled community, and also how to deal with their family members, coaches, like that. And the assignment, students need to do individual essay, and also with the help of our community partner, students will be arranged to interview the Hong Kong para-athletes. There are only about 145 para-athletes in Hong Kong. So the community partner help us to arrange, like they're under different sports category, like basketball or fencing, like that. And then students, after doing the interview, they will present it either in a write-up, like a print version, or they can do the video recording, and or they can produce it as a program, and then all uploaded to either electronic and hard copy publication or to the Facebook fan page. And then after that, students also need to do the presentation. So that is the assignment of the whole course. And now I want to pass the time to my partner, Martin. He will be sharing about how to, from his perspective, why he agreed to work with us, and what are the tips if colleagues want to find a community partner like them. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Bonnie, for the nice word, and thank you, Professor, for the nice introduction. Indeed, when I saw, or when my colleague, share with me about the proposal from Bonnie, and I'm a little bit scared and a little bit concerned, and why particularly for the Chinese media only, and not the English media or other languages media. But after thought, we only now at the moment only, SCMP and SMs and South China Morning Post really barely, cover any news on the disabled sport anyway. Okay, so, and then the other question, the other concern is that why do I need to, collaborate with Bonnie, I think, on this GE subject? Because in the past we did, collaborate with a lot of post-secondary institutions, particularly I think for the Department of Faculty, that they are on a sport management basis. But my experience over the years, is that working with this department, normally they will be really rigid on there, because they're more on the kind of academic, oriented, not like a GE course, like the proposal that Bonnie, provided to us, that, we have the facility to really work together on the curriculum, on the content. And we are bold enough, and actually bold enough to suggest a lot of, idea, particularly on the appropriateness of the content and the course content, and then and all the presenters. Being, in the field of sport management, both able-bodied and disabled for over 40 years now, and also working with sport media for a long time in both a number of sports. I really understand the culture here, particularly on the sport media side. So I thought that, we spoke to, discussed it with our colleague, that I think we should try to get use of, or take some benefit from this course, and with one basic objective is, I think, what you said about just enhancing the community awareness about para sport or para athlete. I think this is the most important message we want to get through the students, particularly in a cross section of academic subjects, not only for the student that, in the department. I think one of the question being asked before this, before the presentation is it, what do you see from the collaboration of partners' perspective? Why do they want to take it? One important thing is the genuineness. Because for us, I think we don't want to have any kind of a window dressing exercise or doing any introductory work or outdated information. I think this is very important. Particularly, I think the media world or the community world have been changing a lot over the last 10 decades. So it's really important from the old days. I think the paper messages or the printing, media now is more on a social platform, which I still need to learn a lot. But I think again, these courses really provide us an opportunity, particularly not only for us, for my colleagues to really get it and engage in it. So this is the reason that we accepted this invitation, and then we've been working really well with Bonnie for the last few years. I think there's an answer I want to point out. I think one of the answer about the partner perspective from us, money is never a problem, or money is never a consideration for us, even from a commercial or from a sponsorship perspective. I think mutual benefit is most important rather than having someone winning one side.
Thank you, Martin. Martin, I think let me recall a bit. When I first met you, I did not know you at that time. You still remember? And I went to your office with a sports journalist, signed a very personal referral. And then I told you that, this is the course outline. I will have this course in the coming semester. And then as you just mentioned, you're scared. I was also scared because you asked me several very straightforward questions, which I've never thought of. You said, why the course was designed. And now you come to me. And I told you, because we have a cycle for submitting GE proposal, because I didn't want you to feel that I don't respect the organization. When looking back, I think for colleagues, if you want to start a course with a very close community partner, maybe the best way is really to contact them first before submitting the proposal. Don't you think so, Martin?
Well, exactly. I think this is, kind of a mutual respect. I think, as I said, we want it, but I think the most important thing is from a GE course perspective and from our perspective, from our own organization perspective, win-win is that it's a mutual win.
And then, as you just mentioned, the second question you asked me is the name of the course, Sports and Disability in Hong Kong Chinese Media. You said, Bonnie, how about SCMP? Why Chinese media? And then I was a bit shocked at that time because I don't know Martin, and he asked me this, seems that your course outline, your name is not, very convincing, right, Martin? And then I explained to him, because the MOI, the language for this course, we got the special approval as we taught that in Cantonese. The reason, there are a lot of reasons. One of the major reasons is we really wanted to interview para-athletes in Cantonese, and also a lot of publication later will have the English version at a second stage. So that's why we want the name to reflect, because for GE courses usually is taught in English, so that the whole university, any discipline student can take it, right, Martin? I explained it to you. And then, but at that time, honestly, I feel a bit scared. I thought, I was very naive at that time. I thought NGO are very happy to, collaborate with university, right, Martin? You said many teachers or organizations approach you guys. And can you give us some tips how to improve the chance of being selected? You talk about whether they want to have a genuine win-win collaboration. Any specific factors that you think when we as teachers approaching community partner, any special elements that we should bear in mind before approaching you guys and talking to you guys?
I guess, I think, Bonnie, you have done, I forgot the name of your colleague at that time. I think both of you have done it. Gary, both of them done it, really well. I think collaboration. What do you mean by collaboration? Collaboration is that, you need to listen to both sides. Okay, not just a one-sided communication or one-sided decision. And the other thing is that I think have to bear in mind. Most of the MGO, I think some of the answer replied that I think already indicated because a lot of NGO, they are not, manpower rich. They are not manpower rich, particularly for our organization, because it's quite unique from the other national sport organization. We have 11. Altogether, we have 11 para sport together, and also we are serving, or we are doing program for over 400 athletes. Not only just and Bonnie, when you previously said we have 145 para athletes, I think that only referred to those athletes in the national squad of various sports. So we have to consider, the genuine or the objective of the course, whether we can get some practical value from it. And then from this course, I think what we are really looking for is trying to get advantage of the participant of the course, and then probably also your colleagues to get the message through to the community that para sport is also a kind of equal opportunity. I really seldom use the word equal opportunity, because I said sport for the disabled person is by its own right. So it's not an equal opportunity, it's by its own right. So I think it's important to take this advantage. And I think one further is that, Bonnie, I think, somehow in the future, doing this organization again, I think both from your side or from our side, we should have a follow-up. You should have follow-up survey. See, before the course, do we or after the course, how many new recruitment that we have? Then to indicate or to really show the success of the course. Because we don't want to just, as I said, a window kind of dressing exercise to do it for the student or for the department. And then after all, we spend all the effort, or the partner spend all the effort, but find out that, the increment in the participation or new members is zero. Then we will see that is not a successful course from our side, at least from our side.
I totally agree with you, because Martin, honestly, during our 3 years of collaboration with you, your kind self, and also your colleagues, actually inspired me and taught me how to really, work very closely with a community partner. Because as I said, I was a bit naive. At that time, I thought, we're a university, very decent organization. I want to start a course to promote disabled sports. So there should be no reason for them to say no. You see what I mean? So at that time, when you asked me those questions, I was a bit surprised. And then I thought about, you are right. You mentioned that not just because, not about money. It's about your objective of collaboration. And also more important is the manpower, because you guys are already very busy. And for colleagues watching or listening, during the whole course, actually, not just the beginning, but the whole 13 weeks of teaching, we work very closely with our community partner. I will be showing you more from our next slide. And also I can share it with you with Martin. Next slide, please. And please play the video. This is also arranged by our community partner. You can see from the video, this is just last semester, boccia, under the 11 categories that Martin mentioned about disabled sports. And every year, we try to work with them. This is just one lecture. And you can see the para-athletes, they came here, not one person, but whole team, and with the coaches and even family members. And then they send all the required materials, everything, and then we booked a stadium, indoor, sports stadium, and then we liaise how this lecture, only one lecture, should be conducted. And so for like this lecture, they came to teach students how to play this sport, how to judge from a referee perspective, how the whole game, how can you win like that? And then they help. You see the green line and the red lines there, because for boccia, for example, there is no proper sports stadium. We have basketball court, we have tennis court, Martin, right? So every time for this type of sports, all the para-athletes and their organization, they have to get all different colored glue, the tapes, to set the whole venue for the game before having the game. So they also help teach our students how to set the venue and then help them, teach them to play. And finally, after playing several rounds, students and the para-athletes, they had a race together. So the video, the 20 seconds video you just watched is exactly the final game. They worked together. So the best team from our students and had a race with them. And all the other students sat on the side and see the game, enjoy the atmosphere. They like it so much. And after that, the second part of the lecture is that students use camera or a pen or a mic to interview them and ask them about this sport and how they were trained, what are the difficulties, right? So Martin, you may chip in that, like, organizing one lecture of this with community partner is actually took you a lot of manpower to help us, right, Martin?
Well, it's not only the manpower from the secretariat, because the athletes and the coaches, they have busy training schedules. They have busy training. We have collaboration like this, and we also, for most of the time, you know, we also want to do some demonstration in schools, not only in special school, but also mainstream school as well. And also we are being asked, you know, individual athletes are being asked by NGO or commercial sector to give an incentive talk as well. So they all have to, you know, the head coaches have to, first of all, have to consider, I think, first of all, any programs that we want to, or we are doing together with outside partner, must not interfere their training schedule. Particularly disabled sport or para sport alike, the able-bodied sport now, no result, no resources. So we don't want to have all this community program or promotion activities, you know, interfere their training. So this is the most important part. The other thing is that for all this demonstration or recce event, we want really the participant to have the first-hand experience of how the disabled athlete or para-athlete, how do they manage to train? How do they manage to do the sport? And want to get eventually a core message that people can look at them or treat them as is ability, not disability, that counts. I think this is a very important message, that for all the people to recognize, you know, how athletes can overcome the difficulties to reach I think the top of the pyramid.
Exactly. As Martin mentioned, not just the manpower, they came to recce the venue before, and then, for example, from our part, my colleagues and I, we need to find out, like, whether where the wheelchair users can go into the venue, like that. So all these requires a lot of coordination and planning with our community partner. So like Martin mentioned, we should not affect the schedule of their practice. But at the same time, as a teacher, we have 13 weeks only. And then we also under a very rigid, like at the beginning, we have talked about service leadership or GE. So at the end, students need to do the presentation. And so we only have several weeks to try to compromise with the community partner. But more importantly, we have to fit the para-athletes scheduled to organize activities like this. And apart from this, Martin also came to give a guest lecture. And then they also help us to not just interview the para-athletes. And for example, we want to interview very famous para-athletes who got a gold medal in the Paralympics. It's all organized through the help of our community partner. So next slide, please. And the actual running of the course, as you can see from like the short video, we have very, very constant contact with the community partner, and like the change of schedule, interviewees. And I want to highlight is the students' expectation management. Because, for example, community partner help us to arrange interview with the para-athletes and the coach. okay? But the para-athletes were sick suddenly. And then one group did not have the chance to do the interview. So students might find it not fair because we don't have the exact duration of time to submit the assignment, because we are running a course which have a assessed assignment. So this kind of thing we have to communicate not just with the community partner, but we have to give more expectation management to our students. So that's why I and my part-time partner teaching this course, we conduct weekly, I will show you in a minute, self-designed teaching evaluation. Want to ask them weekly what are they facing the problems, or are they happy with the interviews, things like that. And I find it very, very helpful. So because if you just rely on the university teaching evaluation at the end of the semester, yes, you got the feedback, but it's a bit too late for you to adjust the teaching and also to handle the grievances or the good points students mentioned during the whole semester. And another example I want to talk about is the delivery of students' work. I don't know whether Martin will remember when our first year collaborate, students conducted interviews successfully under the community partners' help. But when they submit the work, the video through the Facebook, and also some quizzes, short posts through the Facebook, students were very creative. They changed the color of the logos of our community partner. Martin, I don't know whether you remember. They find it fun, and they think that, oh, the colors is very creative. I changed to different colors like that. And because students, not just from journalism, they are from all the university different disciplines. So actually, we talk about this with the community partner, and community partner wants us to change it back because it's their logo. So we talk to students. So examples like this happened during the whole semester. Martin, right?
Okay, I get this is one thing about the difference between, or the attitude, the difference between a GE student of GE course or student of a what they call the main course. I think these are the group of the student, they are searching for a wider scope of knowledge. Not like the other group, if you're attending a main course, like the undergrad course, I think they have, I think, well, I'm not saying that, they are not searching for knowledge, but they have more kind of assignment geared, trying to get a good mark. I think this is so the good thing about a GE course, which we've delighted to, jointly do together with Bonnie and your colleague, is that we find the value of it, the core value of these courses. And I hope that, really then you can further build, I think, this course to the other, a wider scope of having a specific subject, I think, on disabled sport in the future, can really consider that. And Bonnie, I must say, I think probably that this is my last day of work before retirement. I'm 68 now. So have been in sport management for over 40 years now, and I'm really kind of delighted. This is my last assignment. When you first asked me or through my colleague that whether I can attend this sharing session, I should have a very good excuse. This is my last day, and the office no power, no electric power. I should return it down. But I felt that, I'm indebted. I can't be indebted, and then inspire, I think, from your courage and initiative to doing such a meaningful courses.
Thank you, Martin.
Yeah.
It's really my honor, and then I learned a lot from you. So let me finish quickly our next several more slides to show students' work, and then we can answer some questions. So this is the running of the course. This is the Google form that my colleague and we designed for all the GE capstone course and also my major course, like journalism course. That is, I ask students feedback weekly. Like this, you can see, especially when we have lectures related to community partner, like a guest lecture conducted by Martin. And they're very nice. Their whole team came to our lecture to witness how we conducted the course, and also students gave the feedback, and I will also send this feedback to the community partner. So next one, please. And this is the website that we will be launching shortly. That is, we put all the students' work, like they write up the printed version of the personal profile of para-athletes, especially those not so famous, quote unquote, but they work very hard. They didn't really win gold medal in Paralympic game like that. And we want to have them, got them all there and be recognized. That is how hard they were. So when you type a para-athlete's name in the future, we hope everyone will be there. And apart from the website, students also, this is the, every semester, we had a booklet like this. So it had the e-version and the printed version. As you can see, the cover, the two pictures, my way of doing this was we tried to pick pictures taken by students, but because they are not journalism major students, they didn't really have very professional filming techniques. So finally, the pictures were so-so, they still have some room for improvement. So these two pictures, and then I went to the community partner, asked Martin's team, I'm sorry, can we have, because students could not go to those big Paralympic games anyhow. And then they were very kind, helped me to search. So you can see our collaboration was very, very close. And apart from this booklet, we also have the Facebook fan page. Students upload all the videos, quizzes like that during the semester. And apart from the Facebook fan page, and sometimes, from the fan page, and they interview different para-athletes through the video. Like this one, if you go to the fan page, you see some video like a documentary, very, very well produced. And also, apart from that, I have to thank not just the community partner, but also GE office, because if colleagues want to teach GE courses, you might know and you may be aware GE office always post that they have special funding for us to apply from, like virtual teaching and learning, or I apply for a special grant conducting independent research. So students interview sports journalists, and then we compile a research, and then I complied, and then I submitted two international conference papers. And all these, from you can see, I arranged students to give interviews with local media so that they have the experience being interviewed. We organized a press conference. Students help organize everything, and then they were interviewed by local media. And on the right-hand side is the preview, as shown in the video, the first video, Zero to Hero. Martin was there, and all the directors, Sandra Ng, So Wai, they were there to support, and students learn a lot from the whole event. And that is the whole course, that how we collaborate with the community partner. So Martin, you want to just round up, giving very short, like a precise hints for our colleagues who really want to look for a community partner like you, that is so helpful and so willing to collaborate with us?
I only 3 short points. One, I think about the booklet. I think that was a marvelous kind of a production, I think, from all the student that, writing all those stories, I think. And this is a highly recommended, booklet. And previously I heard that already distributed 500 copies. I think should be more. Okay. I think this is a very good kind of collection of work. Secondly, I think another point that mentioned, I think talking about related kind of media coverage, there is a bad or it's generic or it's normal circumstance that, people will only like to read story about the star. But I think, Bonnie, you have mentioned, and also we also have recommended or suggested, we shouldn't put all the focus on the star. The star already a lot of people will know. We should cover more about the up and coming one. I think they are the one really need the focus and need the attention. So I think the course, you have done that. And my last word is that, again, just thank you for all the contribution, for all the initiative. I provide or facilitated to us to do this such a meaningful task. And I wish also like to take this opportunity and this platform, I think, to thank my colleague, particularly I think Yuri and Olivia and a lot of our sport team, South Khmer people, all of them, and previously also Lillian as well. I think all of them have contributed. All of them are putting the kind of treat this course a kind of priority to their project, priority to their workload. And they have been spending a lot of time trying to make it a win-win project. So I just want to say, a big thank you to my colleagues as well that they flew this platform.
So thank you, Martin. My last words is that students' feedback about this course very good. We've got very, very high CFQ, and they wrote in a very detailed way how they love the course. And also, after every semester, we had kind of debriefing with the whole team of our community partner. We sat together for a lunch, and then we talk about how the course was run and how it can be improved. So we are very happy that after 3 years, students still like this course so much. Every semester is all fully enrolled. A lot of students knock on my door and ask for extra quota. And so that's our sharing for today. We are very happy to answer questions if you want to know more. We are very happy to answer. And once again, thank you, Martin. Wish you a very happy retirement. Thank you.
Thank you.
And question time. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Bonnie and Martin, for the very inspiring sharing. So, colleagues, if you have questions, you can simply unmute yourself and speak or use the chat box. But because of the time limit, we may have to restrict our Q&A time to 5 minutes. So, any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself and speak. Or let me start first. In the planning stage, when we talk to community partners, we may not be very able to give a precise estimate of the number of students who will enroll in the course. 15 and 50 students may make a big difference for the community partners. How can we manage this in the planning stage?
Okay, let me answer it first. If maybe Martin wants to add more points. I was in a very rush situation when I first submit this proposal, because it is my first time to submit a GE capstone course. And I went through many, many drafts with the help of GE office and also my colleagues. And then, so at that time, I was just thinking, I wanted to start this course. And approximately, I was thinking like 30 students. And so that's why I was so busy in writing the syllabus, reference book, and I didn't really think of approaching them first. So that is what also I shared not too long ago. And I thought it depends on your course, because our original plan was that we wanted to bring them to big Paralympic events, either in Hong Kong or in Asia. So the group cannot be too big. So we set 30. And the first year, it was so popular that we increased the quota to 35. So because we think about the workload of reporting, and if just 10 or 15, I think the booklet or also the experience will be very limited. But if 50, I don't think I can manage it. And wheelchair basketball, 50 students playing wheelchair basketball in one lecture, it's not very possible. So it's during the planning stage, we still need to think about roughly how the course should be conducted. Yeah.
And Martin, how would you think when an instructor comes to you and say that, okay, I may have a class of size 15 to 50. So how would you respond to such an approach?
Okay. I would like to see this rather than an economic 101.
Martin,
101
we
course.
don't see your face. Martin, would you like to show your face again? Yeah.
I said, I would prefer a small class which people can really focus and really can concentrate, rather than taking or having a kind of economic 101 or psychology, social study 101 like that. I think this is more valuable. I think from our perspective, because we want to get the real message through, rather than when people leaving the classroom all gone or been gone. So the other thing is we have to respect our partner. We have to respect the course structure. I think because this is we can of course we can contribute on the content, which I think part of it is because we have the experience, we have the knowledge. But for the size and then for the costing structure, for the management side, I think we have to respect our partner.
Professor Chiu, one more point. That is, attendance always may be an issue for university students nowadays. But I can tell you that I think maybe students pick their own GE course they like. Our attendance for this course is very high. So we always having almost 30 students in the class. So that is the manageable size.
So it's very encouraging to hear this. Okay, thank you. And colleagues, do you have any questions?
Hi, Professor Chiu, Bonnie, and Martin, one question.
Yes,
please. Yeah, so this is Angela from General Education Office, and really thank you for this very wonderful presentation with a lot of inspiring comments and suggestions. So actually this question is for Bonnie, but I'm very sure that Martin can supplement the answer and give Bonnie or us some suggestions. Now, Bonnie, actually in the past 2 to 3 years, you have already covered quite a lot of para sports in your course, including athletics featuring YYSO and also bocce, which is extremely popular now, particularly, we've watched a lot of games in the past Olympics. And at the same time, we also introduced wheelchair basketball. So what's next? Because you have already covered a lot, but it seems that we have, well, maybe just to my knowledge, we only have, a limited number of para sports promoted in Hong Kong. So what's next? And maybe Marty can also give us some suggestions. So what's the way to go for this course?
We discussed it actually last semester, and the part-time lecturer and Matthew Lee and me, we wanted to have fencing, wheelchair fencing, because Martin, you may want to share, because they will have their own fencing practice area for the first time, right, Martin?
Yep.
Wow.
We're thinking
that's right.
Right, a stadium for dancing.
It's the first time because it's very difficult for Paris sports to have their practice, so it's not easy. And then they got the land, and also I think they just opened recently, Martin, right? So we wanted to do that for the first 2 semesters. That wheelchair basketball, bocce, because we can do it inside campus when students have other, before and after of other courses, so that if we need to travel to another place, there might be an issue that we have to change the time. But we really want to try new things, and we hope we can do fencing next semester.
Yeah. So ask me to join your classes. I'm interested in dancing as well. I mean, yeah.
I guess I must say that the most kind of challenge that the organization that our para-sport development facing now is how to recruit more disabled people or para-athlete to the program. This is the most important message for the last 5 years, and it's also in our strategic plan. It's not really, of course, we.
Like some might be connection problems.
Martin, we can't hear you. Oh, he can't hear us. Martin, we can't hear you.
We come and take part in the programs. So what number, which sport that we're going to promote is not an important issue as relating to how to recruiting them to the PAR program. But again, in the Paralympic world, they have altogether 23 sports.
Right.
But imagine the population of Hong Kong. Imagine Hong Kong have a really good affluent community and also a really good health system. We don't expect a lot of disabled people in Hong Kong which can take part. So we are lucky places in Hong Kong. We don't have earthquake, we don't have war, we don't have a kind of a disaster, natural disaster. So unlike the past, we had polio is a problem. A lot of our athletes in the past are polio, but no more polio, no more exist. So again, the sport that we only concentrate on 11 sports. These are the sports we think that will be more easy, more practically being held in Hong Kong, and also the physique of our para athletes are fit into this program, which relatively easy to achieve outstanding results internationally.
But that's
Can I answer the question?
Yeah, yes, of course. Yeah, thanks for your answers. And I think that's a dilemma, isn't it? Yeah, we want to develop para sports, yeah, but then we don't want more para athletes because of more disability, more accidents. So yeah, indeed, that's difficult. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you. And we are running short of time. So colleagues, if you have any questions, please unmute yourself and speak. Don't use the chat box. I don't see any questions in the chat box anyway. So any more questions? If no more questions, and perhaps before we finish, we would like to announce some exciting upcoming events, and I will pass you over to my colleague, Alice.
Thank you, Professor Chiu, and thank you very much again, Bonnie and Martin, for your sharing. We really learned a lot from you. Now, may I invite all participants here to complete the post-event survey so that we can collect your feedback on the events and improve next time. Just scan the QR code here and give us your suggestions for improvement. Or you can also see the link to the survey in the chat box. While you are filling in the survey form, may I invite you to pay attention to my announcement about our upcoming GE events. First of all, in mid-April, we will have a CCL recognized student sharing. Students of a GE capstone course and the community partners will share how they communicate and collaborate on issues on Chinese culture, community, and arts. And then in June, there will be a GE student assignment competition. Students can submit their GE course assignment either individually or as a group to the competition through self-nomination or nomination by their teachers. So we highly recommend you as a GE teacher to nominate your student who have good work relevant to the submission criteria. And two more initiatives are especially designed for GE instructor. First of all, the virtual or digital teaching and learning grants, which Bonnie has mentioned in her presentation. We welcome you all to apply for the financial support so that you can apply the VTL or DTL initiative in your GE courses. We will make the announcement in July. And then in August, another very exciting GE program, GE Buddy program for GE teachers. You can develop your own network among GE teachers and also to foster professional exchange. So don't miss the chance to make good friends in GE. Please stay tuned to our further announcement and through emails or our webpage. Last but not least, please follow our Instagram or our Facebook page to get the most updated information of our courses and activities. Like today's sharing is very meaningful and helpful and useful to your work. Thank you very much for joining us today. I know that it's running out of time, and we look forward to seeing you in our future events. The post-event survey code is here again. Please help us to filling in the form and give us any comments or feedbacks on the events so that we can improve next time. Okay, thank you for staying with us for so long. And thank you again, Bonnie and Martin. We hope to communicate and talk to you in the very soon future. Thank you very much.
Thank
We hope you a nice day. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank
Nice
you.
weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Nice weekend. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye-bye.